is The Outer Worlds. This game was made by Obsidian. Obsidian are the same people that made what a lot of people regard as the best Fallout game made so far, which was Fallout New Vegas. Fallout was made by man, what was their company called? Man, I can't even remember their company. Oh, yeah, Bethesda. Fallout was made by Bethesda. That's a different series, but this is basically Obsidian's first actual game. They just kind of helped make New Vegas, so this is their first go ahead at it. So just show you a new game. So you could do it for story. So it's basically very like easy mode. You know, it's very simple. You're literally just, you know, playing it for the story, and playing on normal. I played normal. Hard, you know, it's enemies have more health, do more damage. Supernova is very difficult, and I don't really recommend playing on Supernova until maybe your second or third playthrough. That's another thing about this game. This game's not super long like the Fallout or the Elder Scrolls games. It's a lot shorter than those games, so it really increases the replayability to play this game multiple times. So Supernova, you know, it reduces difficulty below Supernova. You cannot re-enable it. So once you start, you can't stop. Enemies have more health and more damage. You have to eat, drink, and sleep to survive. Companions can die permanently because you can get companions in this game to be on your team. Crippled body and limb conditions can be healed only bed rest. You know, you can only fast travel to your it's definitely nightmare mode. So let's just say normal, and then, you know, this is kind of just preference. Conversation subtitles, I always like subtitles on. And then you'll have, you know, little load screen stuff here and there. The load times aren't too long. So basically what's going on in this game is aboard the Halcyon, people were promised that if they go into this hibernation chamber, that they'll feel, you know, better than ever, and they'll be able to, you know, live on, you know, and to avoid diseases and certain other issues that are plaguing the main colony at the moment. So we're actually inside of, you know, this colony that has been frozen. Sorry, the ship was called the Hope. Sorry, not the Halcyon. So we're actually on the Hope, and the guy that's actually coming is Phineas Wells, the scientist. So Phineas Wells is obviously an enemy of the colony, or seen as an enemy, because what he's about to do is pretty treasonous kind of stuff. So he's going to break me out, or at least one of us out, in the hopes of reviving us, because as you come to learn, this isn't really real spoilers or anything, but as you come to learn, you realize that the colony really had no, like he's kind of talking about right here, the board, which is, you know, the people that run everything in the colony, they really had no intention on bringing us back to life. They were really just leave us here to die. So he's gonna, you know, bring one of us out. So here, you know, I could attribute some points to strength. You know, it increases melee damage, carrying capacity. I could actually decrease. I didn't even know you could do that. You could increase, and as you could hear, he's making little comments depending on what I'm increasing and decreasing. So I could, you know, increase critical damage. I could increase, you know, melee melee attack speed, ranged, the perception. So let's say I do perception, you know, some health regeneration and some charm. So then we'll say next. So then we're going to do skills. So the one-hand melee, two-hand melee, every skill goes to 100. They all have their own base skill unlocks, as you see here. Initially, you won't be able to do them one at a time. You can only do them as a group until all things in there are 50. So let's say I did all dialogue, and my persuade, my lie, and my intimidate are all 50. Now I can start doing individual, which is when you get to like the 60, the 80s, the 100s. I definitely recommend, I mean, it depends on what kind of build you're going for, but I definitely recommend, you know, getting into the dialogue, because it'll allow you to get away with, you know, fighting, you know, without fighting, or allow you to maybe get some more bits, which is, you know, currency in this game, or maybe it'll allow you to get, you know, better items. You know, it just makes, you know, things and moving around easier. You know, leadership is also good, you know, because you have companions, so they could help you along the way. We have range, so let's say we picked range, kind of picking whatever, just so we could speed this along. We have aptitude. So aptitude isn't really that important. You could say no aptitude. It's really just for the bonus, and just to give you, you know, give your character a little background prior to being encased in ice. I think when I first played, I was a medical technician, so let's say we're a chef.
Can you really compete with a Spacer's Choice frozen dinner?
Then you could pick your gender, say male or female, say male. Then you could do your face, really, you know, really fleshed out. You can make, you know, whatever kind of person you want. You could literally spend like, you know, 20, maybe even 30 minutes going through all the stuff. It even goes to eye horizontal, eye size, mouth size. Some of the finer details like that I didn't really worry about. Cheeks. You could do your hair. So we got, you know, the facial hair color. We got the hairstyle there. There's a bunch of different ones. We got the eyebrows. We got the hair color. It's a bunch of different ones. Hairstyle. They're all cool. All varied, depending on what you want. So we got the features. So we got the makeup. We got the dirt. We got scars we could put on him, and then we could make him really old, really young, or you could just click random if you don't mind or care. So let's say his name is, I don't know, Ghost. We're just gonna make a random name here. Next. And then they're just gonna ask you if you're comfortable with what you picked. So we're gonna say yes. So then, as you're seeing here, Phineas was able to extract me, but he wasn't able to get everyone else. So now he's trying to put me in the ship and trying to run off with me, even though this, you know, again, isn't something he's supposed to be doing. The game is very beautiful as well, as you can see. The cinematics, while there's not a whole lot of cinematics, they are well done. You're able to go to many different worlds in this game. While there are many different worlds, it doesn't feel, it doesn't give you a feeling of like it's too much or insurmountable. They found a way to make every world feel fleshed out while also not feeling too big. So there's a number of worlds. You're gonna go to desolate worlds that are like kind of like more forest worlds. You're gonna go to like kind of sandy worlds. You'll go to a number of different places where you'll meet different people that have their own like little factions, people that look to help you, people that look to screw you over, and the world really opens up for you depending on how you go about it. You could choose to be a good person, you could choose to be a bad person. As you go through the different worlds, you'll have chances to meet your companions. You could do quests for them, not do quests for them. I've also heard that you could actually kill everybody in this game, every NPC. Now, of course, I don't recommend that, because then you'll miss out on a lot of experience and you'll miss out on a lot of loot. The level cap for this game is level 30. I did hear that they are making DLC this year, so that should be really fun. it's really interesting because as you're starting to build your crew and everything, because you do get a ship soon here, as you're starting to build your crew, you could see how they're all witty and they all have their problems, they all have their good and bad. You know, they interact with each other, they'll have random conversations when you go on and off the ship. Sometimes when you're doing a quest for them or in general, they may say, hey Captain, you know, you got a sec, can I talk to you? And you know, they'll actually have genuine input on what's going on. You know, none of the characters are like mindless, and you know, they all have, you know, some purpose. And it's even one of the more interesting things, you're actually able to kick off a companion whenever you so choose. So randomly, it could be towards the end of the game, you can say, hey, get off my ship, I don't want you here anymore, and you can do it. You can do it. There's nothing keeping you from doing it. Again, you know, you're better off with companions, but you know, you can do it.
And he should be waiting for you at the landing site. He's to be your chauffeur. Not to worry.
So now we're just gonna go on the first world here, and you guys will kind of get to see how combat works. You know, some of the weapons you'll get in the game. There's a mix of weapons in the game. There are, like, you know, there's regular assault rifles, there's rocket launchers, there's flamethrowers, there's swords, there's hammers, there's maces, there's sniper rifles, there's submachine guns, rocket launchers. There's even these cool scientific guns that I really like, that, you know, are able to like shrink people down, or able to make people, I'm trying to remember another example. One of them was like to shrink people down. Oh yeah, you end up falling on top of Hawthorne, the guy you're supposed to meet. And yeah, this is literally the graphics of the game. And you know, it was rare, if at all, that I found times to where there were any, you know, weird pop-ins or anything. Your marker will usually be like a green little thing like that. So we can jump over here. Oops. And then, okay, so this will be your inventory. Your weapons will always be here. You could hold up to 4. And your ammo will be split into light ammo, heavy ammo, and energy, because you have energy guns as well. Oops. So armor management is teaching you about your armor. Your armor can deteriorate, so make sure, you know, you either take it in to get fixed up, or you fix it up yourself. You also have your journal here, so it's pretty clean. So we'll have the main quest, your completed, or your botched quest. So your botched quest, be very careful of that, because I did botch a quest and I was very upset about it. So botched quests, I highly recommend that you kind of use a guide a little bit here, not completely, but for certain quests, if you say certain things, like if a guy told you, oh, and here's the codex as well, a guy told you, oh, I want you to go in a cave and go save Jimmy, and then it's like there's the option to say, nah, forget Jimmy, let's just, you know, get money, you know, together and do something else. You have to be careful, because that may be an option to say, oh yeah, you're right, you know what, forget Jimmy, and then the mission is botched and you don't get anything for it. So I don't want you guys to run into that scenario. So then we also have healing items. We also have modifications, because you can modify your guns. You can put N-ray stuff on it, which is like this weird willowy purple shit. You can put napalm on it. You could put electricity on it. There's a number of cool things you could do with guns. You could technically, like, in a way, if you think about it, make your own guns. And then there's the general, there's quest items, your junk. Make sure you sell your junk. Don't hold on to your junk like I did and, you know, make it worse on yourself and then become over encumbered and you could barely move. You also notice here you'll have the armor type, it'll have your skill bonus, how much it sells for, its weight, its condition, And then let's move along here so you could see a little more stuff. We have our health to the top left, as well as our little gauge there that they're gonna explain in a little minute. And then you'll also see that we have our health thing, so that's for health. So there's a guy here, so we can search him a little bit, and we're gonna hide amongst the grass, because when you see how it's filling up there, that means the enemy sees me. When it's completely red, the enemy has seen me. So if you want to avoid a fight, you could sneak on by. We also have the little dodge that you can do. Hold on, I'll show you in a second. The little dodge you could do, you could dodge. It's kind of like a strafe dodge if you're being shot at. Got hurt a little bit there. There's also things in this game called, I think they were called faults, where if you keep getting damaged by something, it'll ask you, hey, do you want to make sure, you know, that doesn't happen anymore. Now when you do faults, when you agree to faults, you can agree or disagree. If you agree to them, that means something else about you will be taken away.
You've tried the best.
Just to balance yourself out.
Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, that stinks.
Okay, so now I'm talking to him. See, there'll be options like this because I'm kind of well versed in medical. I could use my medical skill and just talk to him there, or I could use my other options. So I get experience for using stuff that I'm attuned with.
Spacer's choice doesn't like us accepting outside help.
So then you can also do the toggle history to see what you guys were talking about as well.
Oh, we're all part of the Spacer's choice family here.
In most cases, you can ask like multiple questions. In most cases, like there, it'll be like, okay, if you pick this, you can't ask those other two questions. It'll just move it along. But it depends. I always encourage when you're done talking to someone to try to go talk to them again. They may have extra dialogue to talk to you about. Oh man, and some of the options to talk to people, you could really be an asshole. Like saying stuff like that. You could be an asshole. You could, you know, be really nice to people. You know, like I said, it depends. It depends on what you're going for. So I could persuade, I could lie to him, I could intimidate him. Let's say I intimidate him.
You sound a lot like my lieutenant. Here, hope this gun serves you better than it did me. Here, you can have my saber too, for patching me up and all.
So now he gave me the gun and the saber. So I could either keep talking to him or I could stop. So now I could aim. Shooting feels very good in this game, by the way, as well. Very good. See, tactical time dilation. So that's basically like VATS in Fallout, just a little more like VATS from Fallout 4 instead of Fallout 3. So then now I could use the environment around me. So I could click it, boom, and then I can switch out of it. So I don't have to stay in it. Boom, boom. And then I could just grab the ammo, nice and quick. So bit cartridges, that's some good stuff there. Some money, bananas, mag picks. So you could hack and pick locks in this game. Unfortunately, I can't because I don't have enough mag picks. Even though my level was high enough, I didn't have enough mag picks, so couldn't do it. Okay, so let's do it again. And then let's say I wanted to use, okay, they're talking about weapon management. Say, oh yeah. Also DPS, keep in mind DPS is just damage per second. Don't heavily rely on that to tell you how strong the gun is. How strong the gun is will tell you in damage underneath. So be wary of damage per second. Keep it in mind, but it's not the main indicator to signify how strong the weapon is, because you could have a high damage per second but the base attack, you know, sucks. So be wary of that. Then I could also use swords. I could talk to her, or I could say, you know what, screw you, I don't want to talk to you. Shit. See, now I gotta use that. I'm getting hurt a little bit. I could also block with it. I would love using time dilation in this game. It's awesome. So here's the ship. Unreliable. Oh yeah, Ada will become... Okay, see, that's what lockpicking looks like. It'll have like a little green thing over it if you could do it. So now I just leveled up. I could deal with some perks. So Ada will end up being like your best friend on the ship. She's the ship's interface. She assumes I'm a marauder. So I don't blame her for thinking so. Oh, also, sometimes when you talk to people, if you're dressed like, I don't know, like let's say you're dressed like a marauder, like the guys I was killing, they'll be like, oh, why should I trust you? You look like a marauder. Like the game is very self-aware of itself. And the game likes to take, you know, poke fun and, you know, make jokes as well. So the game doesn't, you know, always take itself seriously, which is good. You know, it strikes a good balance between the two. Yeah, I love Ada. So I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit.
You want welcome back. You are welcome. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our new drive.
So how we start here is we can't even use the engine. See, and it'll add something to the quest marker saying, all right, now we have to find a power regulator.
Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement follows high-capacity power regulators.
Alright, so like I said, we're kinda gonna just skip around.
Thank you. Best of luck.
When we're able to get off the ground, we'll be able to use this to actually warp between places, but for now we're stuck on this island. So let me show you the points, skill improvements. So like I said, see, we can do it. We'll usually get 10 or so points. I try to like divvy it up the best I can. You know, so my character was relatively balanced, and then it'll say, okay, you apply it. So that's set in stone. When you hit certain enemies in certain spots, like it's talking about right there, it'll cause a critical hit. Combat dialogue abilities. Every 2 levels, perks will become available. These are specific perks. So toughness, base health is increased, vendor prices, 50% XP from companion kills. Companions can also use their own special abilities. You guys won't get to see them because we don't have enough time, but they'll also get to use their own special abilities to help you in combat. Companions are pretty useful. So walk speed, sprinting, carrying capacity. Let's say we pick carrying capacity, we apply it. So now that's set in stone. So the ship's pretty big. It has you know, a couple floors. Some areas will be sealed. You'll notice in certain areas, usually either because you just can't access it there, we got a kitchen and everything, or just because the door may be barred from the other side. You'll notice that a lot when you investigate, you know, old laboratories or you know, abandoned camps.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? And if this ship is yours...
So then she's talking to me. Nah, I could attack her. I could say, fuck it, I want to attack you. And she can't stop me. And then I could take her stuff. Now, I didn't choose to do that before, but I did this time just so you could see I could do other things. Another cool thing about equipment is you actually look different when you put on equipment, completely different, and it will show up in the cutscenes and everything with your different armor. So you know, as you know, get all your companions together and your stuff together, you really look unique and different, you know, completely different from when you started. So that's always very cool. So far so good with killing marauders. So we're gonna run on along here. So here's the first place, Edgewater. So you could talk to Silas. Silas has his own, you know, story. He's like the gravedigger. Has quests going on there. I would personally want to take you inside Edgewater, so you can kind of see at least, you know, the first place you'll be, you know, moving around doing quests and stuff before I, you know, stop the video. So I don't want to make it too long. So here's the place. Usually when you can go in places, it'll be blue here, so you can click open. When you can't go in places, they'll usually be red. This is usually what the workbench station will look like. Like I said, you can tinker, you can modify, so install a mod. Right now I don't have any mods. You can tinker, upgrade your science skill to tinker, so you could repair here, you could break them down for parts. A bunch of different things. So as you can see, this place looks kind of blah, really drab, kind of depressing. It's like a fish place, salt tuna. That's what all these people eat, basically. So then we're gonna go up the elevator here. You can see my assault rifle here.
Grease monkey. Seems we've got a guest.
So there's Reed. So Pavarti is actually one of our first companions.
I'm Reed Thompson.
Yeah, I don't really care what he has to say, honestly.
I can't let you. My proposition. There's a power.
So he's the leader here.
I was not. I am not the beat.
Trying to keep it quick here.
Good Lord, my whole...
My dad told me all about the plans. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson.
So Bavardi, you know, in the beginning, you can see that she really makes a maturation process more than Bavardi and this other character. Actually, all of them kind of make a maturation process. They start out one way and then they turn out another. You know, they really change as things go. Now you could say, no, I don't want Bavardi, but in this case we'll say, okay, Bavardi, come with us. So then we're going. But I said, you know what? Fuck it. I want you dead. And I can do that.
You just killed him?
And I can be a monster. I know, it's great.
You enjoyed that? Are you some kind of psychopath? I can't. I need to get a... You killed Mr. Thompson for talking down his nose at me. Let's just...
So now I kill those people, and Bavardi hates me. Can I kill Bavardi? No, I can't. Now, of course, that creates a lot of problems now that I did that, because now there are a lot of things that'll be different. You could also hack terminals, machines, logs, give you, sometimes they give you little backstory on, you know, what's been going on and everything. So then now I'm public enemy number 1. One second. Let me leave here. Just so I can finish talking to you guys. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's basically Outer Worlds. In a nutshell, that's basically Outer Worlds. It's a very fun game. It's a very, you know, it's just an experience. It's an experience, and it's talking too fast. And it's an experience that is special to you. You know, my Outer Worlds playthrough won't be anything like your Outer Worlds playthrough, and that's, you know, that's one of the beauties of it. You know, it's different. It's just feels special, and you'll fight different, you know, enemies in this game. You know, you'll fight a lot of creatures. It's not just marauders and people. You'll fight a lot of creatures. You'll fight like gorillas. You'll fight like these like giant insects. You'll fight robots. You know, it's very futuristic and kind of primal at the same time. It's a very interesting mix of enemies, to say the least. You'll fight things like this. These kind of look like woodland creatures. And then I'm controlling Bavardi a little bit and telling her to go over there or to kill a certain thing. Alright, so anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm glad you enjoyed watching a little bit of Outer Worlds, hopefully by yourself, and you have a wonderful experience and a wonderful day. Peace.